You're tuning in to Stellar Cycles, hosted by Alina Souza
and Eva Brown. Join us weekly as we delve into the science, spirituality, and cultural significance of our feminine cycles.
Get ready to align with your natural rhythms, take charge of your patterns, and embrace a holistic approach to feminine wellness. Are all systems go?
All systems go.
Hello, guys, and welcome to episode number 26.
Beauty, sleep, everything that us women love and need.
The main topic of this episode is sleep's very important role in healing and maintaining female hormonal balance. This time, we want to help our stellar girls understand the significance of adequate sleep for women's overall well-being, highlighting the impact of hormonal fluctuations at different life stages. Don't worry, we also provide practical tips to improve your sleep quality, support better hormonal balance, and empower women to prioritize their sleep and make informed decisions about their health to better, deeper, dreamier sleep.
I'm a professional sleeper.
I really know you are. I was so jealous of you on our Europe trip because you were able to knock out and just fall asleep and stay asleep no matter what form of transportation, what time of day it was, if it was dark, if it was light, if you were being jiggled around or not. You can really fall asleep anywhere.
Did you ever catch me on the train or the planes, like sleeping with my mouth open?
Actually, no. I don't.
You know, when you're sleeping horizontal, I think gravity just pulls your jaw down.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta get that mouth tape. You know, the whole mouth tape trend.
I think
Should we try that? Should we put in an Amazon order and see how that goes?
Mm-hmm.
Sam is going to be like, how many more things do you need to sleep? Because I already have my earplugs. I have my eye mask. I have my noises.
What?
Yes.
Girl, you sleep with earplugs in?
I do. Because here's the thing, Eva, when you sleep next to somebody, you don't want to bug them over every sound that they make while they're sleeping, being like you're snoring, you know?
I get that.
But I can literally hear every single sound that Sam makes when he's sleeping. That man be breathing through his mouth sometimes. So if anyone needs some mouth tape, it's Sam.
When it arrives, be like, no, babe, that's for you.
And I've recently moved on to wax earplugs, which I like those a lot more. I literally don't hear it, and it just makes me sleep with less disturbances.
I think I will try it out. I mean, one of my girlfriends, Andy, would always tell me the sleep mask made a huge difference for her quality of sleep. So maybe I'll try it.
For me, it makes it harder for me to wake up, if that makes sense, because it does make it darker for your eyes. Because, you know, you can kind of see through your eyelids a little bit, you know, if it's dark or light. So when it gradually gets lighter outside as you're waking up, whereas when I sleep with my eye mask, I feel like I'm jolted out of my sleep. And if I put the eye mask back on, I can go right back to sleep. Whereas if I'm not wearing it and I just wake up because it's already light outside, chances are my brain's going to be too awake. Circadian rhythm type of stuff. I was
just about to say that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we're excited to launch into this website.
Yes.
Or this website.
Eva's just been launching websites all week. So
gosh.
That's all her brain is operating on right now.
So true. It's so true. I wasn't even going to talk about those as updates, but like...
Why not?
Yeah,
Let's just go into your updates. That's a smooth, flawless transition, girl.
Wild. Guys, I've been telling you over the past month, doing all this stuff. You guys know I've amped up working because obviously your girl is taking care of herself now. Hashtag single life, paying your own bills. Hashtag hard.
You never fail to remind us.
You know, I just want everyone to know. I think relationships are a beautiful thing. Yeah. And now I really feel the single ladies.
Yeah.
Even back when I was...
And you were in your relationship 3 or 4 years. So it's like you've gotten used to a certain way of doing things with someone, you know, splitting up things. So I could imagine when that ends, it's kind of like... oh, I have to do everything myself.
It's like a big slap in the face, like a reminder of, first off, how amazing women are, but also how much a woman has to really go into her masculine energy just to provide basic life. And it's a big reminder of why God makes us to be with a partner.
A moment of silence for the women who have to launch into that masculine energy and do everything when they are partnered up, though. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, when you're raising yourself and a whole other man child.
Instead of getting a helper, you're responsible sometimes for him and also for the kids.
Oh, girl.
Can you imagine?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There's this great lady I just found on Instagram. She's been making these reels where she's raising her son. She's teaching her sons how to like make
yes. She was like me teaching my sons to appreciate retail therapy so your daughter doesn't ever have to hear, do you really need that? And she's like staring into the camera because it's usually the other way around. It's like dads with their girls and it's like me taking my daughter to Spain so she doesn't get impressed when your son flies her out to Houston, you know? Yes. And I'm glad the moms, did you see the one about the period where she's in bed and they bring her snacks and she's like, me teaching my sons that women feel sick once a month and so that your daughter doesn't have to power through anything.
Chills.
So cute.
It's that type of parenting.
And it's that easy. That's
yes.
literally as easy and as simple as you have to make it for little boys. Is women don't feel good for a few days out of the month. Be extra nice to them. Give them some chocolate and keep it moving. That's all you need.
Teach them also how to work around our life and who we are, because we've already learned how to work around a man's life. You know, it's a guy's world right now. I like the one where she's sitting on the stairs with her son outside and they're journaling, both of them. And she's like, I'm teaching my son how to work through his emotions so your daughter doesn't have to. Like, yes.
Be his unpaid emotional labor and therapist.
Yeah, such good parenting.
Really good.
Parenting. But how did we get here? Because I'm working all the time. Yeah, websites are on my mind because I was working on websites this week. Well, my business partner was working on the websites. We just launched this new client for creating a construction website for him. We're creating our Stellar Cycles websites. We have our landing page up for the webinar that we're doing on hormones for my friend Andy this week. So excited for that. He's so excited, which makes me very pumped.
Yeah, so next time we record an episode, we will have an update how it goes. Because that's this week in a couple of days. So
by the time they hear this, it'll probably be like out for 2 weeks already. So exciting,
that's true. Right? That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Guys, we're ahead.
We are a little bit ahead. We have some travel coming up at the end of the month. So, we're trying to get our episodes in, make sure you guys have something coming out to listen to every single week. Yes. And our producer Joyous has been super duper awesome at editing and getting all these episodes up onto their platforms and
on point, above and beyond.
Mondays are like my favorite day.
Same. It's such good energy always on Mondays.
Fun, yeah. If you don't make it hell for yourself, then you can really enjoy Mondays. Any other updates?
I'm reading a cool book by Brene Brown. It's called Atlas of the Heart. Highly recommend. As you guys know, I'm still speaking affirmations into my water. I'm saying things out loud.
I mean, like, you know me. I believe in that stuff, but I can also at the same time think it's incredibly hilarious.
Oh, totally. It is. I'm getting more woo-woo by the moment. I'm saying my prayers out loud now too a lot of times. So if I'm like meditating, praying, I start with prayer, go into meditation so I can hear God, but I'm starting to sometimes say them out loud.
God created the world by speaking.
Angels, and I'll just speak it all out loud.
Then you create your life by speaking.
Feels a little bit more powerful. We're always just taking our routines and seeing how we can elevate them, push it a little bit further than usual. And going to dance classes. That's been fun lately.
Ooh, what kind of dance?
I've done a whole bunch of different ones, like heels, dance classes, and hip hop. I want to get into I did ballet when I was younger, but what's the contemporary?
Okay,
like where you move your body strangely.
Interesting.
Interpretive do you want to come dance with me?
Yeah, would love to get into that and unlock that part of myself.
Feeling myself.
My turn. For my updates, I'm just trying to keep it moving, trying to stay with this momentum. Work has been really good at the college. The twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, just been working on teaching the students all the different functions of the machine, how they can use all the different knobs and buttons to optimize their ultrasound image. And it's been pretty chill. And by the way, actually last week, because they saw me working on some Stellar Cycle stuff and they're like, oh, what's that? And I was like, I have a podcast. And they're like, what's it about? And I told them what it's about. And they're like, mood, I need that. So
so cute.
So I'm kind of stoked. When one girl started talking to me about how, she and her boyfriend have been trying to have a baby for a long time and this and that. And then all people's stories just started pouring out of them. And then this other girl's like, oh, well, I'm 7 weeks pregnant. And we went and started scanning scanning her, and we got to see her tiny little bubble of a baby. It's just been really, really good.
That's life-changing.
It's been fun. And then I joined the San Diego book club team. We've been telling you guys about the book club and how we started going a little more frequently. And I actually took the opportunity to become a little more involved in putting together the events and the monthly meetings and stuff. And I've really, really enjoyed doing that on Thursday at our monthly book club. And now Sam wants to go to these things too.
Yeah,
and the thing is, you would have died. There was so many guys at book club this time. There was more of them than girls, I would say.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like they've found out that
talks.
Yeah, this is where you go.
Oh, right. I see. I mean, and now, your girl's, she's out there. She's looking, she's open.
Yeah, you got to come to book
club.
club.
I would have loved.
So just those couple of things. I felt really, really lethargic over the weekend. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like the busyness of the last few weeks and just getting like 5 or 6 hours of sleep a night, which is going to be our topic today, sleep. I think that over several weeks really compounded, and I really felt like, okay, sleep debt. I'm really tired. I'm really wiped out. It's been go, 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 social this, busy that, something every single day. I do have one more.
Yes,
one
please.
more update. And this is really funny because the Samsung techs came to our apartment to take a look at our dishwasher, because our dishwasher doesn't dry out our dishes. They come out wet. They don't even, like, when you open your dishwasher, the steam is supposed to rise and like hit you in the face, and you're like, yes. Ours doesn't do that. So, we put in a work order. They sent over some Samsung techs over to our house. One of them was like straight up just doing the work, looking at the dishwasher. The other one and I had a full-blown conversation about manifesting. He's just this middle-aged guy, and he's like, I don't know why I keep drawing all these same lessons to my life. I just want to break from them. But it seems like every single time it's the same problem. And I was like, well, until you maybe think outside the box and take a different approach, and maybe do something that you normally wouldn't do, it might keep continuing until you solve the problem. So it was like really funny. And I was explaining to him, well, manifesting isn't that complicated. Everyone is manifesting all the time because of where their thoughts are focused. Most people, without even knowing it, are subconsciously focusing on all of the wrong things that they don't want happening, right? They're worrying. Oh no, what if I, get into a car accident? Oh no, what if I can't pay my bills? Oh no, what if? Using all of this energy to think about the worst case scenario. Where, what if you just use that same energy to think about the best case scenario?
I have chills. I think you've changed so many lives.
They came to fix my dishwasher. They didn't, but I might have helped them fix their life.
Yeah. I think you sprinkled, and then now they're going to be on a different path.
But the dishwasher thing, at the end of the day, wasn't their fault. It's the water isn't getting hot enough to actually dry the dishes. Dishes. So yeah, that's it for my updates.
The construction part of me wants to go in and like start asking all these questions, but I'm like, hey, that's not that type of podcast.
It's not that type of podcast. Maybe we will have a EB Homes segment eventually on the podcast.
Yeah, after we run through all these topics, we have a list for you guys.
But for today's conversation, we just want to welcome you to this episode all about sleep and how we can optimize our sleep, what sleep really does for us as women. We're just going to kick off with introducing the importance of sleep for your overall health. And we all know that sleep is vital for good brain performance, for good mood, for regeneration of your tissues, which means regrowth and when your tissues heal themselves. Lack of sleep often leads to heart disease, obesity, stroke, and dementia. So if you go without sleep, any sleep in like an acute period of time, you can actually die. So like if you go like 8 or 10 days without sleep, you can die. But if you're not getting enough sleep over a long period of time, over your life, then that can really land you with those chronic conditions such as heart disease, obesity, stroke, dementia. So it's really, really important to protect yourself with sleep.
Your sleep is more important than diet and exercise combined.
Wow.
It's the moment when your body's resting, restoring, and recovering. That's why you see, you can eat junk food and not exercise and you're not going to die. But sleep, you literally need it.
And those other activities, even though they're like quote unquote good for you and they help to grow your body, but they grow your body by breaking things down in your body.
And then sleep builds it up.
helps heal it back up. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with sleep. My parents didn't drill this into me, but like I would always put myself to bed at I had a strict 9 p.m. bedtime in my own head. Anytime my parents would have guests over, I would come out into the hallway and I'd be like, can everybody be quiet? I'm trying to go to sleep.
And a cute kid.
I would still do that, honestly, as a grown-up sometimes. It would kind of bother me if I was ready to go to sleep and everyone's just still raging, and I'm just like, how inconsiderate of them.
Oh my gosh, it's so adorable.
Yeah, I still love sleep to this day, but I honestly think that there is something to be said about maybe as a kid I already understood the importance of a really good solid routine, getting yourself your mind to wind down for bed and just being able to fall asleep and sleep through the night, no problem. How many kids do you hear of that have sleeping issues because they are scared of things, or maybe they've heard a scary story or watched a scary movie, or they're scared of the dark, or they don't want to sleep alone. I never had any of those things, fortunately. We are going to move on and we're going to set the focus on, of course, women's health and hormonal balance, which is the goal of our podcast, is to spread more information and help everyone who has a cycle optimize it.
Right, because it's so important for women to get even more sleep than men, but at least the bare minimum.
Yes.
They say the statistic is 1 extra hour. So for example, 9 hours, guys.
9. Don't even think about 8, think 9.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. I'm not at 9 right now. I know you're not either.
I'm 6
more at
if I'm lucky.
Yeah, I mean 7 to 8, 6 on some days, 7 and 8.
But you know what
I
makes
get
me
1 9-hour a week at least.
But you know what makes me kind of okay with it?
What?
We're never going to have as much time or energy as we do right now. We're only going to get older and have less time and have less energy. So why not front load your career, stay up, do the work? Because this is the most free you're going to be. Especially us as women. We're going to eventually, unless you choose to not have a family, not have kids, eventually all of your priorities are going to get flipped on their head. The kid is going to become the first thing. Sorry. And so yeah, for now I'm like, 6 is okay. If I'm drinking water, I'm getting exercise, I'm getting sun, I'm taking care of all these other things, I think I can compensate for those couple of hours.
I feel the same. And we listen to our bodies. We get more sleep when we need to. But I also think I would rather sacrifice now on the front end on my sleep so where I can set myself up to be able to sleep when I have children, have a nanny, have someone there helping me.
Exactly.
And I'll only be able to have that if I work hard enough to live residually in 2 years from now. If you guys don't know, Lena and I are on a plan. Then who knows what will happen with plans. But yeah, we're on a get rich and have babies in 2 or 3 years from now plan.
By the way, I saw this article. The FDA came out with I don't know if the FDA came out with it or Big Pharma came out with it, but apparently a postpartum depression pill. And I'm like, wow, well, that's awesome. But they could also maybe look at resources that people need, like support, maybe financial help, maybe doulas, maybe, people who can literally come and help you learn how to handle a baby rather than a pill. A pill isn't going to teach you the skills that you need to be a well-adjusted parent,
Exactly. And that's what they never have given us is life skills. But when you have that, that's why one person can get 5 hours of work done in 15 minutes, right? It's just the difference of how someone approaches a problem. But our government, they just want to slap Band-Aids on everything.
And
Big
it's a
Pharma
sale.
wants to slap. They want to sell it,
Yeah.
I get it. Right? I understand business.
Speaking of, so the reason why this sleep episode is so important is because there is a huge prevalence of sleep issues among women. Big surprise, hormone imbalance. It's is it the chicken or the egg, right? Does the sleep issues lead to the hormone imbalance, or does hormone imbalance steal away from the sleep? So the most common problem that women have sleep-wise in the States is insomnia. So just the inability to fall asleep, to stay asleep, to get that good quality regenerative sleep. I'm sure you know what it's like to have a night of quote unquote sleep where you didn't actually sleep, but you just toss and turn. You didn't really recover.
Those are the worst.
And you feel so much more exhausted the next day, right? The menstrual cycle, pregnancy, postpartum, and even menopause can all have great effects on the circadian rhythm as well as the quality and the amount of the sleep. So basically any sort of stage that a woman goes through, puberty, monthly menstruation, pregnancy, postpartum, menopause, that's going to cause changes or disturbances to your sleep cycle.
Totally.
Women also have a harder time falling asleep and staying asleep than men do. Like, you ever look at your man and they just knock out, like no problems whatsoever.
And that's why Aline and I are so passionate about this topic in this podcast, is because it's all a hormone play, right? And the moment you guys start to learn and tap into your cycles and adjust to the natural rhythm of your hormones, you'll be able to hack them so you are sleeping on a consistent basis and stuff. But, you know, knowledge comes first.
And it's all about pattern recognition for you too, because then you can maybe look at your sleep schedule and be like, oh, why am I having such a hard time sleeping? Oh, it's because I'm in the second part of my cycle. It's my luteal phase. It's a little harder for me to sleep as good as in, you know, the first half when you have a ton of energy and you're burning all your energy. So again, that sort of awareness can really help you feel a little bit better about what's going on with you throughout the month. We always want to bring it back to understanding the hormone balance and give you guys a little refresher on the role of hormones, especially when it comes to women's health. So just a reminder that we have varying amounts and different ratios of 5 hormones, all playing various roles throughout the 4 phases of a woman's monthly cycle. And these hormones, they not only affect the reproductive system, but they also help run your entire body. So it means the hormonal or endocrine system, it's designed to work in harmony with the brain, the gut, the blood vessels, your detoxification organs like your liver, your kidneys, your nerves. So all of these things are so interconnected that you can't really take one and just separate them from the other. So we already know that estrogen and progesterone are kind of the common ones that we hear about, but we have first FSH and LH, which play in the first half of your cycle. FSH is that food for your eggs. It stimulates them to grow on your ovaries during that first follicular phase half of your cycle. And FSH is made by the brain. Estrogen, it's made by those growing eggs on your ovary. So FSH made by the brain, estrogen made by the ovary. Luteinizing hormone only comes out like once or twice a month, and that's the one that triggers ovulation. So LH really allows for the release of a ready egg around the midpoint of your cycle. Testosterone. So you might be wondering, why do women need testosterone? Well, testosterone is the main hormone responsible for sex drive. However, too much of it can lead to PCOS and facial hair growth. And in women, testosterone is produced in various locations. So a quarter of it can be made in the ovary, a quarter in your adrenal gland. The adrenal gland, it's a little triangular shaped gland that sits on top of each kidney. And that's the gland that secretes cortisol. So sometimes if you have like high testosterone, you might also have high cortisol because it's made by the same gland. And then the rest of the half of testosterone is created in the surrounding tissues and like the ones that are around the ovaries and the adrenal gland.
Know that. That's so cool.
Isn't that interesting? Well, yeah, because like we don't have testicles, so it's like, where's our testosterone produced?
Wow. Where's the guy's estrogen produced?
Oh, should we save that for a male episode? I don't know, actually.
Yeah, that's so interesting, right?
Yeah, but guys can also have like estrogen dominance symptoms for sure.
Totally.
In the testes. Thank you, Joyous. This is why we have a producer. And then finally, so we have FSH and LH. Those both help to grow and release the egg, both made by the brain. Estrogen is made by the ovary, and then progesterone is also made by the ovary. And that's that pregnancy hormone, keeps your uterine lining intact, and it also stops the eggs from growing so that, you know, we make sure we only get one ready egg out of this cycle.
Additionally, there's some other hormones that have a play on just your sleep, but also it's going to be the same for men and women, right? So melatonin, leptin, and cortisol all are within us. Melatonin, as you guys know, that's what helps you go to sleep. It doesn't start kicking in until nighttime, which is why they say follow the circadian rhythm. If you have a lot of blue light or lights on in your house, it kind of messes that up. Melatonin also gets affected. There's actually a study where the photoreceptors in your body that are constantly checking to see what time it is, the blue light, it affects it. So every hour you're on a device, it suppresses your melatonin for 30 minutes. Even when you go to sleep, you might not be hitting the deeper sleep until 2 hours to even 3 hours that you actually fell asleep when you were in REM, you know?
Wow.
Isn't that wild? So Leptin helps you feel more satiated, and one night of poor sleep radically suppresses your leptin, which means that you actually eat more the next day, and you tend to eat more junk food because of this.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think of course it relates to with the studies of like getting good sleep is related to like weight loss and things like that.
I would also
hormones are operating better.
I would also imagine that, like, because when you're not actually getting quality sleep, your body's still like awake and running almost on a level that it runs on when you are awake. Whereas when you're asleep, everything's on autopilot. Like your body doesn't have to try, but when your brain is awake, I would imagine that it like cranks out more energy because you're not actually sleeping, you're not regenerating, and then that would make you hungrier the next day.
You're searching for some sort of like nourishment, some fuel.
Like I was up and running all night, even though I wasn't.
And then the next one that's affected is cortisol, like we were speaking about earlier. So bad sleep increases your cortisol, which breaks down muscle tissue and it converts into glucose. So it's like a triple threat at this level, especially knowing that your cortisol levels are the highest first thing in the morning anyway. And if you're not getting a good sleep, they're just going to be at peak. And because your body doesn't know that you missed out on sleep.
Talk about just like for anxiety first thing in the morning. Right. Crazy.
Wild.
The impact that hormonal balance has on women's physical and mental well-being is that, many women are just out here silently suffering through conditions that they believe they inherited simply by being a woman. Like they don't understand that there are things that they can take into their own hands. And even the lifestyles that they lead in these modern times can lead to complete hormonal imbalance and dysfunction. Women nowadays are seeking medical help daily for excruciating periods, heavy bleeding, fibroids, endometriosis, pelvic floor issues, and just so much more like reproductive or urogenital problems. So let's take a look at how we can use sleep to our advantage. It's one of the greatest tools ever to use to start on a path to healing or to support whatever healing journey you're already on. So first, let's take a look at the bidirectional relationship between sleep and hormones. So it is kind of like it really is a bidirectional relationship because we were talking like, is it the chicken or the egg that came first, right? Is it the bad hormones or bad sleep? So both. The answer is yes to both. Low quality or not enough sleep will disrupt your hormone balance for sure. And unbalanced hormones and out of whack circadian rhythm will in turn disrupt sleep and sleep quality. There's ways that hormonal fluctuations will affect sleep patterns at different life stages. So that being puberty, pregnancy, menopause. In puberty, that's kind of when girls will start having sleep issues because their bodies are changing, their hormones are starting to, kind of operate in a more adult way. And that's when they'll start to notice that they might run into sleep issues. They will have a delayed sleep phase. So they'll have a tendency for later bedtimes. They'll want to stay up later. There'll be a shorter sleep duration, irregular sleep schedules, and greater ability to maintain wakefulness. So, when you're a teenager, even if you do not have the greatest sleep schedule, you have a greater ability to remain awake just because you have so much more energy and you're a young kid. Right. But I can say for myself that especially when you get a phone and you start texting people, like your sleep bedtime goes out the window. Yeah, up till 2 a.m. Next, we have the menstrual phase. So you can have the PMS that'll often cause sleeping problems, excessive daytime sleepiness, fatigued and drowsy, and hard to stay asleep at night. And I would also assume like body temperature type of stuff too will make it hard to sleep.
Because you do run hotter when you're on your period, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Or not
because your body is using 30 to 40% more energy to expel the uterine lining. Next, in pregnancy, while some women can, have their sleep be affected in the earlier stages, mostly will feel the effects on their sleep in the third trimester. They will report insomnia, night waking, strange dreams. I'm all up for that. I'm always down for a strange dream. Back pain, frequent urination, leg cramps, heartburn, and fetal movement. So can you imagine your baby just like swimming around, bouncing off your uterus walls and just keeping you awake at night? You can't do anything about it.
We love our
Can't
children.
be like, please stop. And in menopause, that one for sure, we know that the women will get night sweats. They'll sometimes go through depression, poor sleep, and around 61% of menopausal women have issues surrounding their sleep.
Wow. Yeah, that's so true. When I think back on everything you said, I'm thinking of myself and my friends and people I know in stories. Yeah, huge impact. Like you said, the results of a meta-analysis suggest that disturbed sleep is associated with a 46% increased risk of menstrual irregularity. So,
wow.
Right?
And this information was found in a cross-sectional study of 800 adolescents where they found that prevalence of self-reported menstrual cycle irregularity increased with decreasing sleep duration. So the less they slept, the more menstrual problems they reported to be having. As you guys can tell, sleep is literally the cornerstone of health. Eva, what would you say are some common sleep issues in women that we think about? So, we already went over insomnia, but I know that there's some other ones too.
Oh, so many. I mean, stress is a big one, right? And chronic stress will give you a sleep disorder. Pain, so physical, chronic pain from different illnesses can contribute to insomnia. Nocturnal sleep related. Eating disorders, like sleep eating.
I have that sometimes where I'll just wake up and I'm like starving and I'll go into the fridge and I'll like chow down something yummy.
I love how you can go a whole day without eating and then you go to sleep and then that's the moment you decide.
And my body's like, wait, we forgot to do this one thing today. Let's do it now.
I bet you it's because like you're so deep into your subconscious. I would love to study that more, right? Like are other women who are sleep eating, do they not eat during the day? So when you're in your subconscious mind, your subconscious is making sure you're taking care of your body.
Well, let's look into that.
Oh my goodness.
Let's look into,
so much good stuff to Google. Restless leg syndrome. I'm laughing because like this has happened to me many times where I wake
up. The thing is, I used to think that restless leg syndrome is like, when someone can't stop bouncing their leg, it's usually a teenage boy or whatever, and they're like sitting somewhere where they have to focus or pay attention. They just can't stop bouncing their leg. That's what I thought restless leg syndrome was. Eva, will you please explain what it is?
Yeah, so it's actually just an unpleasant crawling and tingling sensation in your legs. Yeah, and
fun. So it just feels like spiders are always crawling on them.
Which is so creepy when you think about it because you're in the bed. You're in your most vulnerable position. So when I've woken up from that, like it's terrifying. You think there's like a spider or something in your bed. Yeah, it's happened to me 3 times. At least, and I remember just like pulling the blankets off. I'm searching everywhere, and then I think that the spider ran away, and I can't go to sleep. It ruins everything. It's a major cortisol spike.
I can't.
So another thing is shift work, which leads to accidents and disease, disrupting your sleep cycle, right?
Yeah, I've talked about this before, but I've worked night shifts. Yes. My mom, when she worked night shifts, it was the hardest time her body and her mental ever went through was when she had this stretch of working only night shifts.
When you go against the natural rhythms and your natural cycle.
So really big ups to like all the people in society who do have night jobs, who are out here like repairing roads at night, especially all the nurses and doctors and all the people who are like in the hospitals at night. And it's, like all these places where we do need people, unfortunately, in our society.
It would be so worth it, I think, because sleep is such a major topic, to almost do another podcast episode to like night workers, how to help, what can they expect, like how can their spouses and loved ones communicate,
support them.
And support
them. I mean, my parents, they've shared this with us, but I think they really went through a hard time when they had such opposite schedules, and my mom would come home and all she wanted to do was sleep, but then it's daytime and there's things going on around the house, whether dad's mowing the lawn or like the kids are like in the house, and it was just like every little sound would prevent you from getting the rest that you need. So yes, we should definitely do an episode for our night workers.
Can interview your mom.
Yeah, actually we should, because she does work night shifts now, but it's a lot chiller. She a lot of the times will opt to stay for a double and stay through the night, because all she does now is just start IVs, so it's not like a crazy shift.
Also, I know she's very like dialed in and optimized about her life, so I'm sure she's already figured out some ways to just enhance everything, because that's what us women do. We enhance. Our last one will be sleep apnea. Temporarily uncontrolled pauses in breathing during sleep. Some people might actually need a machine to help them sleep and breathe.
That's kind of scary. Just not breathing while you're sleeping. We know some of these might be new, but lifestyle factors that affect sleep quality. Stress, anything stressful work or home environment, an unhealthy diet in general, or eating late at night all the time. We're not saying always or never, but you don't want to be doing these things a majority of the time. Yeah. Once in a while sprinkled in, your body can handle it. But if this is looking like your lifestyle, then it probably is why your sleep isn't where you want it to be.
Yes.
Alcohol. People will say that alcohol makes them feel sleepy, but the way it actually works in your body is by stealing from your sleep and keeping you awake.
Yeah, cut that out right away. It's not worth it. But also make sure you're not doing any of this like 2 hours before bed, 3 hours. Because you just don't want your body like metabolizing things while you're trying to recover and heal.
Exactly. We already talked about the screens and the blue light, or like very stimulating entertainment before bedtime.
Like a scary movie or a thriller.
Or just something that's like really flashy. Yeah.
Lower color or like lower light.
Did I tell you about that one time where I put on a bedtime story on the TV and like, because Sam was like working on something on his computer, and I was like, I didn't want to watch anything, but I wanted to hang out with him. So I put on this bedtime story on the Calm app, and he low-key loved it. He's like, that really winded me down. Also, lots of consecutive late nights. Like I was talking about earlier, I've really been feeling kind of run down, and I think it's because I've had a lot of consecutive late nights in a row where I won't go to bed till like 12 or 1, but I'm still maintaining my getting up at 6. Like that's just not enough. Drinking a lot of fluids before bed too. So, it's good to have like your night tea or your night little mocktail. But Andrew Huberman suggests to sip your drinks at nighttime rather than gulp them down, because then you won't be peeing as much, or won't have as frequent urination.
I can see that.
Having to get up at night to pee, like it does steal from your sleep.
And you guys will see information out there either way. Some people say, drink a glass of water before you go to bed to fully hydrate. But then others will say, no, do it in the morning to fully hydrate. I actually lean on, and I've tried it both ways, but I do lean on the morning side. And then, because, either way,
and also you've been hydrating water all day. Like you don't really, like whether it's, there's water in the foods that you eat, your fruits, veggies, all the beverages that you have throughout the day. Even if it's not just water, you're pretty much very hydrated towards the end of the day.
But also too, every bladder is different because like, I legit can just like drink stuff before bed and not wake up at all to go pee.
That's nice.
I must have like a camel size.
You've got a tank, girl. Some other lifestyle factors, being in an argument, a fight, or an unresolved situation. Seriously. That really sucks, having to go to sleep and just like feeling like you're unsettled and just like there's an emotional turmoil of some kind. Anxiety or worry. Not having a proper wind down routine, not having a plan for the next day. Like that'll give you anxiety that night and that next morning when you wake up, because you're going to wake up, you're like, there's stuff to do, but what is the stuff that I need to do? And your physical environment, last but absolutely not least. So like an improper bed or mattress, a stuffy hot room, a snoring partner, uncomfortable bedding, loud neighbors. So all these things will absolutely have an effect. How many nights this is why I got earplugs. How many nights could I not sleep because of the sirens, you know?
Oh, right. So you're so like sensitive.
I remember like getting up in the morning and Sam was like getting ready for work, and I'm like bawling my eyes out because I didn't get any sleep that night.
Yeah, that can really affect you. If you are struggling or have like, let's say 3 or 4 of those things happening within your day, I would say go listen to our previous episode on routines and habits to try to see how you can optimize these things to set yourself up properly.
And like I can't get rid of the sirens in downtown, but I can certainly get the best earplugs, and that elevated my sleeping experience so much. Always look for the things that you can control and the things that you can change.
Absolutely. Just those little 1%ers. And then the other 2 things I wanted to add here was add plants in your room to help circulate the air, or buy an air filter, because you said stuffy room, and I love that because sometimes we don't think about our environment that way. Obviously it can't be too hot either. And the last thing I wanted to say about this, I forgot it, so moving on.
Bed mattress. I know that sleeping on the wrong type of mattress too, if it has the wrong kind of filling, your body does absorb it because you're spending a a quarter of your life on this surface. So if it has not good filling on it, do some research. There's a lot of good sustainable bamboo mattresses out there.
Organic materials. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in. Such a good point. My last thing is my parents told me that when they were raising me as a baby, that they would always make a lot of noise when I was sleeping. And I swear.
Because they accustomed you to not being.
And I could sleep through an earthquake and everything. So I just want to throw that out there because maybe that is something and it does help.
Yeah, totally.
Because I can, not through every noise.
I love that.
And we'll talk about the menstrual cycle and sleep.
Right. So sleep, of course, is the most affected in the luteal and the menstrual phases. And progesterone, you guys, it's a relaxing hormone and has a sedative effect. So when you're on birth control and your body isn't making its own natural progesterone, you're really missing out on this relaxing hormone. So tips for improving sleep during the different phases of the menstrual cycle. Eva, do you want to kick us off with follicular and ovulatory phase?
Yes. So in the follicular phase, you'll wake up with energy, and regardless of how much you sleep, because at the beginning of your cycle, your tank is completely full. So it just doesn't matter if you're clocking 5 hours or 6 hours, you're going to be excited to greet the day. So just don't use up all your fuel at once and pace yourself for the rest of the month. And during your ovulatory phase, you'll probably be staying up a little bit later here because you're excited, you're socializing, cool things are happening.
That buzz of like being around people, it takes some time to like come down off of that too, and get ready for bed.
It's exactly because you're probably texting your friends, talking to people, and you're just on this nice
sending
high.
Eva and Alina funny reels on Instagram.
Oh my god, literally. Like, you guys know when I'm up late because I'll just like binge out on Instagram before I go to sleep, and then my friends will wake up with like
20 reels. It's like, are you okay?
I just figured, you'll get to it when you get to it. But it's keeping me entertained. So that was definitely me a few nights ago.
Any way to like make up for the late bedtimes during this phase?
Yeah, let me think. I think eating healthier, like eating well, and then still like meditating and calming yourself, because that's really what it is. People would say, and I haven't fact checked this, but like meditation can be even more healing and beneficial than sleep.
Okay, so here's how it goes. Here's the hierarchy. So it goes, sleep is better than food and exercise, and then meditation is even better than sleep. So if you want to just cut through all of that, just meditate.
Yes.
Just Zen and Buddha and meditate. You don't have to eat, you don't have to exercise, you don't have to sleep. You're just like reach enlightenment. Yeah.
Enlightenment. You're connected with God at that point. You guys are one.
That's it. Yeah.
So meditation, and honestly, I've tested this. As you all know, I test all my theories, and it is true. Whenever I'm just tired and didn't get enough sleep, if I meditate, my body can enter a relaxed state, and it kind of heals, especially if you're doing like a healing meditation or like a revitalizing one, and you're visualizing colors and stuff and healing light energy coming into you, telling your cells that they're regenerating. Oof, you guys will be rebooted.
Yeah, and as long as you're making up for those later bedtimes during the ovulatory phase with longer sleep duration, which means like actually getting those 8 or 9 hours of sleep, then you could stay in balance, So late bedtimes, but longer sleep, you're okay. Now, getting into the second half of your cycle, like the luteal phase, and then heading towards your menstrual phase. So in the luteal phase, you might be noticing PMS, mood swings, fatigue. Take a nap, girl. Bonus points if you do it on the ground in nature somewhere. You can do the nap and do the grounding at the same time. Treat yourself a little extra when you're approaching bedtime, so give yourself a cozy vibe and mentally prepare for sleep. Maybe do some dark chocolate, as it has natural magnesium in it. And of course, avoiding stimulating TV shows and heavy meals will be really helpful.
Such good tips.
In your menstrual phase, don't worry about taking a little extra melatonin. That will help you get restorative sleep if your period is giving you insomnia or pain. Baths are also really helpful with some Epsom salts, some magnesium.
Dead sea salt has a ton of magnesium in it.
Not stretching yourself too thin will also help you feel more rested during this phase. And now we're going to give you guys finally some practical tips that you can try implementing yourself to have better sleep and hormonal balance. So
I'll kick off this first one.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah, I know you want to talk about this one.
So what your morning should look like, you should have a bowel movement within the first hour of being up and awake. This is a very important topic for me because, I've been healthy and regular like this for years. And I remember the years when I wasn't. And everything is a lot better when you're doing that. And if I'm not doing that, I immediately know something's like not right. So if you're not doing that, you need to look at your water intake, maybe start taking chlorophyll or other vitamins, look at your diet because there should be an immediate release of toxins first thing in the morning.
When you have that bowel movement in the morning, and you should have 2 or 3 throughout your day too.
Yeah,
that's another thing. But when you do have your first one, it just means that your body is properly opening up, flushing, and eliminating that excess estrogen.
Yes, exactly.
I also like to do things for myself that make everything easier for me the next morning. Set things up that I need within reach. Like I'll put my journal out for the next day and my AirPods for like when I'm going to be journaling. I'll put out my workout clothes. I'll make sure my gym bag is ready to go, just to kind of minimize of what I have to do in the morning. Writing out my plan for the next day, like I talked a little bit earlier. Not having a plan for your day you'll waste your time. You won't get the things done that you need to get done. I also have started this new thing where instead of keeping my gym clothes in my dresser, I moved them to the bottom drawer in my bathroom. So when I go into the bathroom first thing in the morning, I just put on my gym clothes right there.
I kind of like that.
Yep. And that's then I go into my meditation and my supplements and everything. But that kicks me into gear. It's like, okay, now that I have these clothes on, I'm not getting back into bed. Right. I'm not, my morning is starting.
It's very efficient too, because once you're in the bathroom, that's when you're taking off your pants to go pee and you're brushing your teeth.
Exactly.
So you just throw on those clothes. You literally exit the bathroom.
I want to make everything as much of a one-stop shop. If I can get my supplements in there, I think that's what I'm going to do
and
next.
Maybe a little water decanter with a cup over it.
Yeah.
I like that. I actually might look into doing that myself. And then where are you meditating at? Are you doing it
in the closet?
in the bedroom closet? Yeah.
In the closet.
So funny. You see how Alina, she really makes it work. And I already know why you do that, because obviously Sam's waking up. He's going to be roaming around the house.
And sometimes he's walked in there and he's like, what? Because I have my LED mask. Yeah. And that's another thing is I want the LEDs to not have any light interference with them. Right. So I go in the closet, I put my legs up on the wall. I do my meditation. I let the lymph drain down my legs. I have my mask on. It's either been Sam wakes up earlier than me and takes off to work and I don't wake up for hours, or I wake up first and then he's sleeping and then he starts getting ready. But let me tell you, last week, this man gets up at the same time as me, the same exact moment as me, and we both get up.
So cute. And you look at each other.
No, I was so mad because I was like, no, this is supposed to be my time. He gets up. All of a sudden, he's a gym morning person. He's down in the gym. He's running. And I was like, that's when I was taking a video and kind of making fun of him on the gram. But yeah, I don't think that is going to work for us because I need some time to wake up, plunge into my day before I have to I'll still go into the room and kiss him while he's still asleep and stuff, but interaction,
yeah,
no.
Let me just love you, and you stay sleeping there, Sleeping Beauty.
So just to end this out with some mindfulness and relaxation techniques that help us manage our stress and our hormonal fluctuations. So when it comes to
all of this. Yeah, I love that you said that you're planning your day ahead of time, because that's a huge one for me. And a big one would be if your mind's very busy, then a mind dump is necessary, right? That's where you're just writing down every little thought that comes into your mind. It's almost like a meditative state. And it's really great to do this before bed, because anything that you're doing that doesn't involve a screen before bedtime is the best. So you kind of want to weed in these elements and
just that pen to paper.
Yeah, you wouldn't be doing your mind dump on your phone or whatever. I mean, nowadays we're planning our days on on a computer, to be honest, especially if you're planning like appointments and stuff with people. So I'd say when you're done with that, you can go into a meditative state, do a mind dump, and this will help clear and release. And it also helps like elevate your energy. So it'll help you drop into like manifesting a little bit better, higher frequency, which draws in higher frequency things. And some other things I like to do before sleeping is I always go to bed thinking about what I'm grateful for, and I just list it out. And a lot of times it's people, things. I go to bed praying for people and myself, so like I'll visualize them.
I love that because The Power of the Subconscious Mind, that book really highlights the importance of praying as you go to bed or praying while you're falling asleep, because that prayer is also like an instruction. It's a command for your subconscious mind of how you want things to go.
Yes. And when you're like not only praying for yourself, but other people, it's because obviously like you want everyone in your life to win, you know, your family, your friends, like the better they do, we all do. So whenever you're praying for them, it's a prayer for you too. So really go deep into every person you know, and you're entering those gamma brainwave states as you're going to sleep, and that's where everything's really manifesting for you a lot quicker.
Yes. I like to do what I can to just tidy up the space real quick. I don't love getting up in the morning to start my day with a messy space. I just don't. So I will tidy up the space. I'll load the dishwasher. I love running the dishwasher overnight, having clean dishes in the morning.
I love that one. Feels good for me too.
I'll put out my journal for the morning. I'll put my AirPods out, have my gym outfit, usually fill my water bottle. I like to have my sleepy tea. You guys know I'm a huge fan of mint. So the ritual of boiling the tea and putting the little loose leaf into the teapot and, you know, like pouring it, it's such a nighttime ritual for me. One that I've kind of fallen off of, and you guys need to help me stay accountable, is my nighttime yoga. And it's not ever anything longer than like 10 minutes. Even that is just the perfect stretch for me. It really helps me sleep better. You know, like you can go through your whole day and then all of a sudden you twist your spine and you're like, whoa, I didn't even know that it was like, it was so stuck. And I like to set the hue lights to dim orange with a flicker effect. I have it called sundowners in my phone. It just makes me feel like I'm in a cave. It just flickers like orange. It's very ambient.
I like that.
Yeah, and something I've been doing recently, which has been helping me achieve my goal of waking up early, is when I do plug my phone in, I don't plug it in next to me in bed. I'll plug it on the other side of the room. So when it does ring, I have to get out of bed. I have to go to the other side of the room. I have to unplug it or turn off the alarm. And yeah, I just have to get out of bed when I hear it in the morning. And that really helps.
Yeah, that
and I
one's
don't like
helped me too.
and you know, I bet it helps to not have it like radiating the EMFs and whatever next to your head the whole night.
Yes, my next thing will be is I want to start putting my phone on airplane mode. I'm just not there yet. Like I listen to affirmations going to sleep, so I have to download my YouTube videos first. And it's just like another step. But maybe next month I'll implement that.
Cool. Also, YouTube Red went to freaking $18 a month. It used to be, or YouTube Premium.
Did. But you saw,
I
I upgraded mine to a family plan. And I sent you an invite.
Okay,
so
cool.
You're good.
Okay, yeah. But I did see.
You just saw that notification?
Yes, I need to reply to all your things.
Also, I wanted to correct myself. I said gamma as soon as I did. I was like, wait, I think gamma is like the one where you're heightened and very like perceptive. You're wide awake.
Very like awake.
Delta.
Delta
waves. Where you fall into sleep. Yes.
Delta
Beta,
brain
you're starting
state.
to become a little bit more. Alpha, you're starting to become a little bit more relaxed. But theta to delta are your sleep ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in conclusion, just some key points. You know, sleep is vital, not for just all people in general, but also for women and our hormonal balance and optimal function. And women struggle with sleep starting when they first get their periods. It seems like, I mean, of course, you know, some women's struggles start in childhood, but it seems like that's where the majority of the struggles really kick off, as, you know, when you get your period. And sleep quality it's more in our hands than we realize. You know, like no one's forcing you to watch those late night shows. No one's forcing you to like have the, you know, heavy meals before bed. It's like a lot of these decisions are our lifestyle decisions. And there's a lot of power in just like saying, I'm going to do something differently and I'm going to sleep better and I'm going to see this change all across the board in my health. So we can avoid lots of unpleasant and deathly diseases in the future if we can take care of our little sleep routines. And we just want to invite our listeners to just subscribe to our show for more episodes and engage with the podcast community.
Our call to action is encouraging you all to practice better sleep hygiene, watch your lives, and health improve. And what you can do today could maybe be removing a bad nighttime habit or adding a new suggestion that we talked about in this episode to your routines.
Yeah, like we always say, it doesn't have anything to be like a drastic or dramatic change. You can just start with like one thing, like what out of the lifestyle sleep disruptors can you cut out of your life this week, and what can you add in that's going to boost your sleep quality?
Yeah, nice little exchange. Just do one. Doesn't have to be so intense. We get better over time, you know? And our last one is our Instagram handles and link to our free grocery guides are in the show notes. So follow us on Instagram, as we're always cranking out useful content for you guys, making reels. Alina's killing it on graphics all the time. I'm always obsessed with your aesthetics. You know,
Thank you.
Obsess over them. And I mean,
definitely getting into making more reels. I have so many reels I have to put together that the girls are going to love, like all these recipes, smoothies, salads for the different phases. So we have that coming.
We can't wait to give you guys just all of our life hacks and details that help us live an optimal, vibrant life. So you guys can too. But thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate you listening.
We love our listeners, our stellar starlings.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This show is intended for inspiration and entertainment and is not meant to replace your physician's medical advice.
Content by Alina and Eva, produced by Joyous Heron.
You can find more on our Instagram at Stellar Cycles Pod.
Thanks for joining us on this stellar journey. See you next time.